he go?
All Shorts, are you there?
I'm here. Are you there?
Yes, I think we have a Night Raven also.
Yep.
Okay.
Night Raven. Oh, we're live.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Brits and non-Brits, Remainers and Remoaners, Brexiters and Bregshitters, and persons with personal pronouns of all persuasion. Welcome to tonight's debate on all things Brexit and the benefits or lack thereof. I'm the Night Raven, and I have been appointed by God to be your host tonight. So if you don't like that, you know who you can take it up with. And if you do, then I say good luck with that. After all, the last person who tried that was Moses, and we all know that that didn't end well, did it? Now, first, I have some bad news for you. Tonight's debate was supposed to be between Max and Sir Ron Ventry, but Max, he seems to have gone missing. According to Mrs. Max, late this afternoon, he received a FedEx package from an unknown person whose name started with Sir. And when he opened the package up, he found that it contained several bottles of his favorite drink, Baby Cham. Now, if you know Max, you know that he just can't resist Baby Cham. And according to Mrs. Max, upon seeing that it was his favorite brand of Baby Cham, he immediately swigged it all down in a few giant gulps. Well, one thing led to another, and let's just say that he was last seen running down the road to Venice wearing a loincloth, shouting, "Calendars, calendars, I have to find my calendar." Now,
naked.
Sounds like him.
now, don't worry about Max, because the hamsters have assembled several search parties and are mounting a nationwide search for him as I speak. I suspect they will find him, and I will keep you up to date on bulletins from the hamsters as we receive them. But in any event, no fear, because as you will learn, we did manage to find a very distinguished replacement for Max. So without any further delay, let me introduce to everyone tonight's debaters. First, in the right-hand corner, and I hope he's in the right-hand corner on your screen, claiming to hail from beautiful downtown Swanley in Kent, but with a slightly dodgy accent that gives away other origins which Priti Patel would not be happy about at all, wearing a black hat, a black coat, and most surely a black mankini, a close friend of Jeff Taylor, Andre Walker, and Mayor Tusi. Dear listeners, I give you Sir Ron Ventry. Now, do you wish to say anything, Sir Ron?
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone.
Of course, you don't want to say anything, and I wouldn't either if I were you trying to defend Brexit. No. And now, in the left-hand corner, from the beautiful region of the Massif Central in France, but also with a slightly dodgy accent, but one that gives away other origins of which Priti Patel would be happy about, just back from that island of debauchery called Ginger Island, wearing I'm not sure what that is he's wearing on his head, but he's wearing something on his head, his dodgy European Union t-shirt, and, well, for God's sakes, all short, I certainly hope you're wearing pants. A close friend of God, Graham Hughes, and the one and only Max Robespierre. Dear listeners, I give you all shorts.
Oh.
Okay, gentlemen. All right. Now, a few ground rules before the debate begins. First, no cyber eye gouging, no ear biting, or no hitting below the belt if indeed you are wearing belts. Also, no swearing, no insults, and no consumption of alcoholic beverages while you are speaking. After all, we may have youths in the audience. Having said all that, and starting with Sir Ron Braun, let the debate begin.
So, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming on tonight, and it's a pleasure to speak with you once again. Look, this is short and sweet. Brexit is a success. Anyone who tells you it isn't is lying to you. Boris Johnson has convinced us that it's a success. He's told us himself, and Boris Johnson would not lie. We can see fish are happy. The people of Northern Ireland are in a once again still part of the Union. The suggestions, the scaremongering that there would be empty supermarket shelves, or that there would be queues at the border, or that there would be roaming charges, are all proven to be wrong. So Britain has its freedom back. It has its, it can make its laws again. It has access to its money again. It was a success. It was the greatest democratic demonstration of democracy in British history. Democracy is back. Lord Frost said it himself. So we can see it demonstrated on a daily basis that Brexit is a success. And, I think it's difficult for my opponent here to actually find some problems. He can look for them. But, all he has to do is open a copy of the Express, and it's clear there, in black and white, that Brexit is a success and not a failure. The Ramoners wanted to paint the picture that it's a failure, but that's all they have. Words. They don't actually have any evidence. Thank you.
Well, Sir Ron, oh my God, what a load of poppycock! But before I continue, I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Reminiscent of some kind of, normal chap I may have, know of. Kind of chap, really, but did you get kicked in the head by a horse?
Well, just the once. It was Granddaddy's horse. He actually had a few of them. I had wandered into the stables, as you do, as we always do as children. We wander into the stables, and I saw a horse there, and I started poking it with a stick because I didn't like the smell of it, and it kicked me in the head. But what's that got to do with Brexit?
Well, okay. How do you feel about animal testing?
I think we should be testing on people instead.
On Brexiters?
No, on people who voted against Brexit. Because they're traitors.
Okay, so you think that? Okay, so do you have any animals? That's not. You might think that, but end of the day, that's not what's going to happen. Because they've already
let's say we need to test on these animals because we have new standards now. We have better standards than the European Union, so it's necessary to do new testing. We don't want to use old, out-of-date European standards. We want British standards, new British high-quality standards. So we have to test. Unfortunately, we're going to have to test on the animals as well.
Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear you say that. I thought you might have a little inkling left there of, some other person that I think you might be. But, it's since EU Reach has been, disregarded, and now they're going to have their own UK Reach. They're not going to have access to 70% of the testing.
That's okay, we'll create new jobs.
Methods.
We'll create jobs asking people to carry out the testing. See? There. You Ramoners always talking about how Brexit isn't creating jobs. There, it's going to create loads of jobs. We're going to need all these scientists to do all this testing so we can have a good standard.
Okay, so where do you go get the scientists from? The EU?
Well, no, we'll train them up. There are lots of people who are unemployed at the moment. We can train them up as scientists.
Are they watching Gogglebox and sitting on a pizza?
Maybe they're sitting on the TV watching a pizza. I don't know. Maybe if they are, then we can tell them, look, let's make you scientists. How difficult is it to be a scientist? It's not that difficult. You just look. If you have you pay your uncle. Sorry, you speak with your uncle. He pays the university to give you a position a place in the university. You don't have to study, and at the end of the year, your daddy or whoever gives a donation to the university, and you get a certificate, and then you're a scientist. Isn't that how it works for everyone?
Well, it does if you're Donald Trump.
Well, that's how it worked for me. Are you saying that my qualification is not...
Yeah, actually, I think I might be. Where's your distinctions other than being a Brexiter?
Is that not enough?
No, well, I don't think it is somehow. I think you have to, study. And some of these people, quite frankly, looking at some of the comments on my YouTube channel, I don't think they're capable.
But they're not real Brexiteers. They're not
sure?
real. Yes. So
Are you saying that actors being funded by Russia?
Funded by someone.
So you're going to get all these people. They're all going to, stop watching daytime TV, and they're going to become scientists or laboratory workers.
Scientists, lorry drivers, picking fruit, vegetables.
Yeah, let's get onto that about the lorry drivers. And so, what about? Don't you think that maybe we might end up cycling people around? We don't produce enough people anymore. There is not enough people.
Then what we can do is we can encourage people to have more children.
But the sperm count is going down. We don't have
that's Ramona propaganda.
No, and we can't get enough sperm for Denmark. Some Viking sperm. So what are you going to do about that?
Look, we used to have an empire. We can get it from. We don't have to go to the European Union for it. We can get it from all over the empire. We had an empire. We have an empire. What am I saying? We have an empire. I'm sorry. I'm getting some feedback. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
So what's that? You're getting some feedback. Okay. So we're going to get from the empire. You're going to import. Where? From
Canada.
Far Eastern Canada.
From Australia. We at least trust on a wonderful trade deal with Australia. Fantastic trade deal. We could include that in the trade deal as well. We could add it in. I don't think the Australians would have a problem. They're problem solved. Why do you always have to find problems? There are no problems.
They're glaring you in the face. And what about all the poor farmers that have been thrown under the Brexit bus?
Now they
because of this trusted trade deal and
now
importation.
But they're able to export their lamb and beef to Australia now. They weren't able to do it before.
Oh, and what about your bread? What are you going to do about your bread?
What do you mean the bread?
There's no legislation. Yeah, the legislation has helped. Well, it prevents the human hair ending up in your bread. Listeine is a preservative. It's in most bread.
I don't eat bread. Sorry, I think that's for the lower classes.
Do you like vanilla ice cream? I like vanilla ice cream, but
yes.
I'm quite choosy that it doesn't have beaver anal gland juice in it.
It doesn't have what?
Beaver anal gland juice.
I'm sorry.
It's in vanilla essence. It's in vanilla ice cream.
And how is but
they don't get hold of the whole beaver and squeeze it. No.
Oh, okay, this is a horrible image. But is that's what's going to happen because of Brexit?
What about the legislation?
But we will
open doors now.
No, but
it's all going to come in through the back door.
But maybe it tastes better.
Or maybe, but there you go. I've never sucked on that before. But there you go.
See, we found a positive of Brexit already. See, it wasn't that difficult. We're gonna have better tasting ice cream because it will contain the anal glands juice of some animals, beavers. There we go. That wasn't so difficult. See, everyone, we found another Brexit benefit. And if the people don't like it, then they just don't eat it. John Redwood said himself, if you don't like
he's
all
a very
these
clever
things,
man, that one, isn't he? Yeah, he's bright. Is John Redwood?
Yeah.
He contradicts himself constantly.
No, I don't think he's ever contradicted himself.
I'll see you there on Twitter.
He speaks the truth. It's difficult to hear, of course, but he speaks the truth.
So we're going to make more people with imported stuff, sperm.
From Canada.
Yeah, we're going to import the meat from... So I'm a bit confused about your sovereignty, you see, because you talk about importing all this stuff from other countries, but what about your sovereignty?
We have sovereignty now because we're no longer under the heel of the undemocratic European Union.
You've got your sovereignty not to be sovereign. So, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Because we used to have to take all our rules from Europe. Now we don't have to do that.
But that's not true.
How is it not true?
Because it's not true. We never did take all our rules from Europe.
Yes, you know about bendy bananas. Have you not? Do you see any bendy bananas today?
You don't see any bananas.
Oh, very smart. No, of course the reason we don't see bananas is because people don't want to eat them anymore. That's why people think that the supermarket shelves are empty because of Brexit. It's not, because British people don't want to eat foreign food anymore.
It's all supply and demand.
Yeah, exactly. There's no demand for it because people decided, look, I don't want to eat foreign food. Bananas are foreign food, so I don't want to eat them anymore. So there's no demand for it. See, it's just people becoming patriotic. That's why we don't see oranges or bananas or kiwis or pineapples or things like that, because people don't want them.
But what about the poor people? What about the people who got no food? Who are going to the
food
bank?
Yeah,
what have you?
isn't
rather
uplifting.
They are uplifting. They're extremely uplifting. Isn't it wonderful that there are food banks because they provide such variety for people? You know,
they're not, because they can't get the food themselves. People aren't donating as they were before.
What do you mean they can't get the food? You mean their butler can't get the food?
The butler. So they got a butler.
Well,
have you got a butler?
Of course. Well, not just the one. I have about 6. How many do you have? Please don't say 8. Sorry?
I'm a poor boy. I don't have no butler. What would I want a butler for?
You don't have a butler.
Is it?
Sorry. So who hands you your coat in the morning?
I get up and I walk to the coat hook and I grab one off the hook and I place it on my body myself. And that's after I've had a shower and scrubbed myself.
So, but then
then
what does your butler do?
I don't have a butler. Why do I need a butler?
Nobody
needs a butler.
How can you survive without a butler? No, that's fantasy. I don't believe that you don't. It's impossible that somebody doesn't have a butler. Because, like, who's going to put the toothpaste on your toothbrush in the morning?
I suppose you love Nigel Farage as well, don't you?
Nigel Farage is a very honourable man.
They should get the Legion of Honour. He really should.
You should be knighted.
Yeah, in fact, for his contribution to the French economy.
No, not to the French, to the British economy. He's done wonderful things for Britain. Look at how Nigel Farage was at the forefront of Brexit. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have these freedoms back. We wouldn't be able to control our money. We wouldn't be able to control our borders.
All the things. But are you just repeating all the things that we could do?
No.
Why we're a member of the European Union?
No. We couldn't do these things before.
You should.
Britain was a wasteland. Britain was an undemocratic wasteland until Brexit came along.
Oh, so is that why Lord Frost is a lord?
Lord Frost was democratically elected. Okay, not Lord Frost, but Nigel Farage was democratically elected. There you go.
He said that no one was.
No, but in Europe, no. In Europe, it's not democratic. Okay, in Britain, it is now democratic.
Oh, I see. I don't tend to agree, but yeah, if you want to live in your little, bubble, your little Brexit
No.
bubble.
I'm not living. I'm living in global Britain. You're the one living in the bubble. You see, you lost, and you can't get over it. Okay, we won. Get over it. 17.4 million people voted to leave the European Union, and we've left. You lost. You have to. I'm sorry. Live with it.
Sorry, what was that?
I'd like to hear some of the problems of Brexit. Okay, we talked a little bit about some of the. You said about was it the ice cream and other things like this. Tell me about some of because Ramoners keep saying that there are problems with Brexit. What problems? I don't see any problems.
well as the obvious one that we talked about a moment ago regarding there's no food on the shelves in some supermarkets. There isn't enough lorry drivers to not just to move the equipment about, the food about, but what about, for instance, blood test tubes?
Well, let's talk about drivers.
Import them.
Then the solution to the driver shortage is just to hire more drivers from Britain. That's it. What's the problem?
And you think that'll work?
Yes.
So you don't think we're just play musical chairs and juggle them about from one sector to another?
No, we can in the short term we can move people from one sector to another, but in the long term we just tell people, look, you're on universal credit. Well, now you're going to drive a lorry.
So we need 100,000 odd lorry drivers. They only train up about 30,000 a year, and we lose about 30,000 a year for retirement and just leaving the profession. So who's going to train them up?
Well, we could make the tests easier, and then we could train more people.
But isn't that what they're already doing? So we're going to have all these people, and they're going to be driving these lorries, and they're going to not have any experience. I don't know about you. Have you ever driven anything with that's articulated? Or have you, Butler?
No. The Butler has been in one once. I don't know if that counts.
Oh.
No, I haven't driven one. But how difficult can it be? Everything's electronic today, so you just probably press a few buttons and that's it.
Is that what Jacob Rees-Mogg told you?
Actually, yes. I was having afternoon tea with Jacob about 2 weeks ago, and he said he told me. Yes. Yes. He told me that, what is the problem here? It's very easy. He's been in a lorry himself. I haven't had that privilege, but he said it's quite simple. You just get in and you press a few buttons and...
Oh, so you just sort of point in a direction. You just go, I suppose. Is that right?
Yes. Why is it so... Exactly. Why are we in disagreement here? It's easy.
Well, you can just imagine the accidents.
No, there won't be any accidents. Look, the more drivers we have on the road, the safer it will be. Because people will see all these lorries around, and they'll be more careful. Other lorry drivers will see other lorry drivers, and they'll be more careful too. So it's going to be, you just have to believe in it. That's all. You're not believing enough.
So you want inexperienced lorry drivers on smart highways to drive articulated lorries with no experience of distribution, regional distribution centres.
Yeah, well, what they can do is they can start driving, and then they can do the test later on when the test becomes available.
You honestly believe this, Mr. Ronty?
Look, are you doubting the ability of British people to drive lorries?
Yes, I am.
How dare you, sir?
It's a very skilled job, I
don't think
more
so.
Money.
Well, how much money are they earning at the moment?
Depends. If they're working for, say, I don't know, Tesco's or Lidl's especially, they'll be on minimum wage.
How much is minimum wage? Is it
about £9 an hour? 10 quid an hour, isn't it? Depending on what it is.
900 an hour.
No, £9. No, it's a little bit out. That's not in your reach. Obviously, you're used to a lot more ripping people off and all that.
£9.
Asset stripping.
£9, but you can't even. Like I pay my butler £3 an hour, and and he likes it. Okay, that's the way he's been in our family generation in our family for generations. His family has been in our family for generations.
Well, so that you bred him.
That's interesting.
Okay, gentlemen, I just have to jump in here to give you a report. The hamsters have just sent in a report that they have reports of a max sighting from the hamsters. Evidently, he's been seen in the Fondaco de Turchi in Venice. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. And he's taking belly dancing lessons given by a Turkish buyutkaha, or in other words, an old Turkish grandmother. So we have located him, or at least they think they have reports of him. I just wanted to read some of the super chats that we received from Valerio Tarantino. He has sent in a super chat, €2. Thank you, Valerio. Almost said Valeria. And he says, "Hi, Ron. Where did you hide Max tonight?" Well, Valerio, you obviously weren't paying any attention. Max was out drinking baby cham, and right now he appears to be belly dancing in the Turkish quarter of Venice. So
That's
we don't even need to pass that question on to Ron. Pineapple Boy, who has donated £1.79. He just says, "I want my pineapples." And we have a super chat from Ermin. Crying out loud, how am I going to pronounce that name? Shimbri. Sorry for destroying your name. And it's for €20, so I should be able to get it right. And it says, "Share between Butler and Ginger Island, please." So those were some of the super chats. There is a question that did come down in the chat, and it was a question that came in from Strategon, and it's directed to Sir Ron Ventry, and he or she asks, "I want to ask if British happy fish are really more tasteful after Brexit."
Yes, of course they are. A happy fish is a tastier fish. Now, when many people mock Jacob Rees-Mogg for such a line, but many people mock Jacob Rees-Mogg for such a line, but he was speaking the truth. You know, the fish now understand. You know, we tend to over.
Can you confirm that? Thank you. Please, can you confirm that? How do you know the fish are happier?
Because the way they're swimming, probably. They're jumping in and out of the water. You know.
The only way you can say that they're happy is because they're not getting caught.
But maybe some of them are not being caught because there are fewer fishermen about. They've decided to move up, a step in their career, to become lorry drivers, perhaps. See, there we found another solution to the problem. The fishermen who are not fishing can drive articulated lorries. There, problem solved again.
Well, some of them do, actually. And they already, had that little trip down to London, drove around a few circles and got a fine and went back to Scotland. But, it's... So what about the fact that the fish and the live bivalve mollusks are eating poo? Your poo, in fact. It might be royal poo, but it's still poo.
No, it's not. This is EU propaganda. The water in Britain is pure. The reason that they don't want these fish is because... Sorry?
Is it distilled?
Yes, probably. Well, no, of course not. No, you need equipment for that. No, it's... look, this what I mean by pure, as in it's clear water, it's clean water. This is a rule that the European Union brought in this year to punish Britain.
But it's not. That's not true.
Then why is it happening? Why is it happening now?
It's always been the case. It's just got worse.
No. But when Britain left the transition period, now it's happening. So obviously it's because they're punishing us.
That's not true. Because Surfers Against Sewerage been campaigning against this for over a decade.
Then why is it happening now?
Britain, it's been happening for a long time. It's not just now.
But then why is the European Union stopping our mollusks from going into their market? Now. Last year they didn't have a problem. Why is it now they have a problem? Because we left.
No, because they came in, and as the mollusks would enter the European Union, they'd then be depuriated. But they're not allowed to be now. You can't depuriate your mollusks in the European Union anymore.
Yes, because of
Brexit. You have to depuriate them in the UK. But the problem with that is they won't last. They will die before they get to the shops. They're dead mollusks, rotten ones.
Because the European Union doesn't want us to succeed.
Well, obviously not. Why would they? I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah, see, they want to punish us for having the audacity to leave.
You're saying they're being malicious?
Very malicious.
Or look after their own economy?
because look, their objective here is to punish us for having the audacity to leave, because we're the only country who stood up to them and said, no more, we're not going to continue to pay for poorer countries who can't get off their arses and do any work. We're going to be free of you. We're not going to take any more of your rules or regulations. We're going to be an independent nation once again. We were tricked into joining you in the first place. No more. We're gone. And what did they do? They continue to beg us, don't please, stay, don't go. And now that we've gone, what are they doing? They're punishing us for having I'm sorry to use this word, the balls to leave.
How are they punishing you? So you're saying they're punishing you because there's rules for third countries,
look,
and now the United Kingdom has to abide by those rules. Is that what you call punishing, or are they just rules?
No. I'm
sure the United Kingdom has its own set of rules.
Yeah, but
especially in October.
But why are they treating us like a third country?
Because you're not a member. Are we talking about the gym membership again?
What? No, I don't go to gyms. I have a gym in my home, like everyone else, don't you? This is a very strange conversation. Like, I'm debating somebody who doesn't understand what a butler is and thinks that people go to a gym. Like, you don't you have all this equipment in your home? Like, how many rooms do you have?
Quite a few, actually, but
like, what next? He doesn't have a library, a drawing room,
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to debate with somebody who lives on another planet here.
You know what? I would love. Are you going to take us on a tour? I'd like to see your library because I do like books. Can we see your library?
But it's not my. Look, I'm taking over from somebody who, like, this is Maximilian Robespierre's house. It's a dump. Okay. I'm filling in now because for some reason I'm able to access the internet through this system. But anyway, we're getting off the point.
You are a bit.
So, the European Union want to punish Britain for leaving because we were brave enough to leave.
And poppycock.
And you say that
that's what all you Brexiters say. You just want to do the blame game. Yeah, blame the Remainers, or now you call them Ramonas.
Well, you don't stop moaning about it, continually moaning about how bad Brexit is when it's there in front if your eyes are open to see it, you can see that it's
you Brexiters are always complaining. Even little Darren Grimes, the sneaky, even he said, honestly, I feel stupidly naive, he tweeted today.
No, not about Brexit.
I was so excited and enthused by this government.
But not
what
about
a shower.
But not
My
about.
quote.
Yeah, I saw that too. But it's not about Brexit. It's about this government. Now, I am a little bit disappointed. I think, and something I'd like to talk about Scotland in a moment as well. Please remind me about that.
Scotland.
No, let's stay on this at the moment. Trying to distract. See, this is what the Ramoners always try to do. When you're trying to speak, they try to interrupt you. Look, we are not a third country. We're special. So that's why the European Union should make an exception for us. We used to be we are an empire. Some people think we used to be an empire. So we shouldn't be treated like any third country. We're not a third country. We're a special country.
To be special, you need to be considered special by others, not by yourself.
Haven't we demonstrated that we're special?
No. Well, yeah, it's special, but not in the way that you think. No.
But we have been a member for God knows how long. Haven't we demonstrated that we have high standards? Why is it suddenly, now we don't want your fish, now we don't want your sausages? Why is that? The only conclusion I can come to is they don't want our sausages because they want to punish us. They want they want to steal.
They're going to be contaminated with meat from Australia. Through the back door. End up in all the school dinners and prison food.
Isn't that good?
No.
What's wrong with good, solid, safe food from Australia? Liz Truss has said it's perfectly safe.
But if you just say it's safe, don't mean to say that it is.
Are you suggesting that Liz Truss is a liar?
Well, they missed the bit on the end, the T. Let's not trust. Let's not trust Liz. Now, I don't think she's particularly honest now, even though she's from my area.
Are you suggesting that Boris Johnson is less than truthful?
Is it me, or you just smirk when you said that?
Because I know that the response from Ramoners will be Boris Johnson always lies. Yeah, Boris Johnson has told the truth. Look, Boris Johnson has said that there is no border in the Irish Sea. There isn't really a border in the Irish Sea. There isn't a physical border in the Irish Sea. Now, if you want to call it a border, that's your decision. But Boris Johnson,
it's just fact.
Boris
It's
Johnson,
a border.
but he hasn't lied.
It's a trading border.
Yes, but he didn't say that there was a physical border, so he didn't lie.
But he also said about chippers, and he did lie about them because it wasn't even true.
No, that wasn't lying. He said that it's necessary to have a freezer bag or sack or something with the kippers, and that's true.
No, no, it wasn't. He lied, and he's always lying.
No. He tells the truth. You just don't believe. You don't want to believe him. That's the problem. See, if you start off from the point, I don't like Boris Johnson, then you're never going to believe anything he says. You're always going to call him a liar. That's the problem with you people. Is that? I'm sorry to use this term.
You people now, is it?
Yeah, yes. It's.
Okay. You're picking on the sort of minority group now. Is that what you Brexiters always do, isn't it? You kind of, don't get your own way, and you just need to try and belittle people.
Look, people need a bit of a kick up the backside from time to time. Show them, their place.
Oh, I see. Is that what Jacob Rees-Mogg does?
Yes, and he's a good role model. He speaks Latin. Did you know that?
So is Boris Johnson.
There we go. And they've been educated at the greatest place for education, Eton.
No, the fact of the matter is he is a liar, because at the end of the day, he was going to vote. He said he'd vote Remain. That's what he said.
No, I don't believe that. He probably told it to keep some people happy, but no, in his heart of hearts, Boris Johnson supports Brexit. He has always supported Brexit.
I'm in favour of the single market. I want to be part. I want us to be able to trade freely with our European friends and partners.
Okay.
And you can manipulate his voice to say anything. Anyway, I wanted to say something about Scotland. Moderator, can we change topic, or is there any comments in the chat that?
Well, yes, we can change topics there, Sir Ron. I see that you do need to change topics. First, I just want to mention that we did get another hamster reporting of Max. The hamsters are sending back reports of a Max sighting in a gondola in the Grand Canal with his belly dancing Buyukana. That they say that he's still wearing his loincloth and he's singing O Solio as passing tourists toss coins at him from the bridges. So we have a Max sighting and we know where he's at. Relative to the chat, there are some comments I think that are interesting to hear. First is from FSM, is the dog, and he points out that all those unbendy bananas are being unpatriotic. And they should start bending, obviously. From Mythic, she comes in and says that maybe the fish can drive the lorries. That's something. Time Mechanic indicates that the EU is being shellfish. And Eddie T states that the EU are just jealous of our empty shelves and raw sewage in rivers. Now,
it adds to the flavor.
Yeah, it adds to the flavor.
Chewy, yeah. Bit nutty sometimes too.
It gives it that right aromatic taste. Okay, we also got a super chat from AN98, and that's one I can pronounce the name of. And it says, Ron, how would you feel about a second referendum? Also, how much money do you make in a year?
Okay, the second question, it's none of your business, but I have invested in many Fortune 500 companies. I have inherited a lot from sweet papa.
When did that last time you published your tax returns? The same time as Donald Trump?
Well, I and Jacob sit down and we go through them together and see how much we can get away with not paying. You know, a piece of advice to everyone: invest in a good accountant. Now, sorry, the first question was again? I forgot the first question.
How do you feel about a second referendum?
About a second referendum? Well, we don't need a second referendum, unless if you really want a second referendum, then I'm pretty sure that everyone would realise, yes, it was a mistake before to vote against Brexit. The people of Northern Ireland, they would realise we were wrong, you know, the ones who voted against Brexit the last time. They would turn around and say, yeah, I want to vote for Brexit again. And the people of Scotland, look, you know, Scotland is a strange one. People think that the Scottish people want to break up the Union. They want to rejoin the European Union. That's poppycock. Look, I was reading just the other day in the Express. The Express carried out a poll in Scotland, and they said the vast majority of Scots want to remain part of the UK. Look, they have been suckling on Boris Johnson's teat for a long time now, and they realise the benefits of being part of the Union. So they're not going to leave. We're not going to let them leave. You know, it's like, you know, if you're in a marriage, I don't know, you know, if Scotland and England, which is the husband and the wife there, you can probably imagine. But in this scenario, you know, if divorce is illegal, then you can't leave. Okay, it's simple. So you can have as many referendums as you want, Scotland, but
you do realise
we're not letting you go.
You do realise the official polls don't back up your Express poll.
Look, the Express is a reputable newspaper. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but they look. Yeah, well, I think if I was to go and visit Scotland with, you know, arm in arm with Jacob Rees-Mogg, the people of Scotland would. I'm not saying throw flowers out in front of us as we arrive, but it would be extremely welcoming.
I don't think they would, actually. They're more likely to tar and feather you.
No. Look, there is blue. There is blue in this flag for a reason, okay? So,
but they want to take the blue out. They want their blue back.
Look, little Cranky, is that her name? The little cranky dwarf. She wants to leave, but she represents a tiny minority. The vast majority of Scottish people want to stay part of the Union, and they don't want to rejoin the European. Why would they want to leave? Why would they want to leave one union that respects them, and join a European Union where they become?
Okay, for argument's sake, you're wrong, yeah. And Scotland, you know, gets a referendum, yeah, in your F2, and they win. Or those who want to leave the United Kingdom, take the blue out of the flag, so to speak. So what's going to happen regarding... How would you feel about a border? A physical border? You know, rebuild Hadrian Wall or whatever you want to do, you know.
There wouldn't have to be...
Would that be okay if they... What if they did leave? Not. You know, I'm not saying if... you know, if they don't. If they did leave the United Kingdom, what would happen? What would you be happy with? A physical border?
Okay.
Or do you think it's going to be these digital lorries?
Okay, first of all, you know, they're not going to leave, okay? But let's play hypotheticals for a moment. Okay.
It's all hypothetical. I do agree. But I don't mean to say it won't happen.
It won't happen. But let's entertain your fantasy for a moment here.
Okay. You're quite patronising, aren't you?
No, I'm being very honest here. Being very polite. Moderator, have I been rude so far?
Yes. You put me into minority. Have you have you been? I don't know. An IQ test recently?
No, I don't believe in those things.
No. Or what that one?
You'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Repeat it, please.
Donald Trump is a very, very decent man, and I don't like you suggesting that he's anything but that. Anyway, let's engage in your fantasy about Scotland leaving the Union. So if for argument's sake, Scotland does leave the Union, well, we don't need to have a border because we can have an electronic border. Jacob Rees-Mogg has a lot of experience in this field, and
so we can have a border between England and Scotland, and that'd be digital. But so why haven't we got that in Northern Ireland and the Republic? Ireland.
Because of some Friday agreement,
something like the
TGI Friday or something agreement. I don't remember.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sort of peace treaty. So you oppose that as well? I take it.
Oppose what?
The Good Friday Agreement, the Belfast Agreement.
Oh yeah, because now I remember. Yes, this Belfast Agreement. It's about trying to tear Northern Ireland out of the United Kingdom, and the European Union are involved here as well, because the European Union have, forced Lord Frost, under duress, I may add, to sign the withdrawal agreement.
You do realise that Northern Ireland voted to stay in the European Union?
Yeah, back then,
they didn't want
now,
this, just like Scotland didn't want this.
No, but now, if you ask the people of Northern Ireland,
you wanted this.
Yeah, but Northern Ireland is safe in the Union. Scotland is safe in the Union.
Is it why they call the Union Jack the butcher's apron?
I don't know. Maybe because of the red on it. It looks a bit like blood of patriots. So maybe once a butcher used it as an apron, as a joke, and people thought it was quite funny. And Jacob Rees-Mogg does certain things with flags that I could not refer to here, unfortunately. But sorry. Go ahead, my friend.
No, so you're basically suggesting that we're going to have digital borders everywhere that don't exist. So we're going to have these lorries coming across the border, and they're going to get scanned.
Yeah, you can scan them.
And that technology actually exists, does it?
Well,
without delays.
Or we can ask the drivers. You could say, look, do you have any contraband on board? And if they're gentlemen, they will say, yes, I do. And we open the lorry. And if they say, no, I do not, I'm an honourable gentleman. And then we let them go on their way.
Is that what you tell the people traffickers?
Look, why is this so difficult? Look, the people traffickers are bad people, and we need new laws to deal with them. And we couldn't deal with those people traffickers until we left the European Union. So now we have.
So why are we getting more people come over now since we've left the European Union than we did before? I don't see how you can say that. It doesn't make any sense. I know common sense is no longer common, but hey ho.
Do we have any more super chats?
Were you trying to get time out or something?
No. It's
Well, we do have a few super chats. Just mention that Ken M gave £5. We also have a pledge of €5 from Bite Size Ghost Stories. I wonder who that would be. And we also have a comment of £5 from Brian Luff, who says that lorry drivers just can't drive Class 1 Arctics. They must pass Class 2 rigid trucks first. Fair question.
Ah, that is.
Well, yeah. What if we just give them both certificates on the same day? There we go. Problem solved.
That means the exams and the tests and the course would have to be longer to include all this stuff. And then your idea of making them easier isn't really going to be easier, is it? It's going to take longer.
And we do have a question for you, Sir Ron, from Franita. And her question said, would Sir Ron drive or learn to drive a truck to help his country out of this trouble?
It's the least you could do.
And I would have no problem doing that, yes. But it would have to be on a Sunday afternoon only, because that's when I put in, well, that's when I used to play croquet, but then we had a problem with Rupert, and Rupert was okay. No, that's none of your business. So yes, I could do my bit. I will put myself forward to do my bit, but it would have to be between 12:30 and 2:30 on Sundays. So there we go. Yes, I'm ready.
You don't sound very committed, but so you're not going to be driving for 9 to 10 hours plus.
I don't want to be
18 hours a day.
I don't want to be taking a job away from somebody who would much prefer to be doing. I wouldn't mind doing it.
You need to get behind the wheel.
I have committed to dedicating my free time to driving a lorry for Britain. There we go. But I don't want. As I said, it's not that difficult. Why are you people always trying to find difficult? You need just to believe in it. Like, you get into this vehicle, you look around. It's like when you buy a new computer or tablet. You just mess about with it for a half an hour, and there you go. I
bet you haven't even towed a caravan, let alone a lorry.
Rigid. Sorry, what's a caravan?
Yeah, like a death box that you tie behind a car.
I'm not familiar with such working class vocabulary.
Like that, quite a snob, aren't you?
No. I'm demonstrating my ignorance of the working class. Apologies. I am. Look, I look out for the working class. I do donate from time to time to those food banks. I ask the butler to go around, look for something in the pantry, anything that's out of date. Isn't it better that it goes to the food bank than it goes into the rubbish? At the end of the day, it all goes into the one place anyway. But there's my dedication to the working man. I donate to food banks.
Okay.
So I do care.
I'd say to that.
How much have you donated to food banks? How much money have you? Or how much food have you donated? I would imagine it's very little.
Well, actually, we do that here in France, because we're not in England anyway, so we escaped.
Why did you leave your country?
Because it's full of Brexiters. Well, at least 52% of them.
Moderator, I was not informed before this debate that I would be speaking to a foreigner. Someone who has abandoned his country, a traitor, I should say, who has left his country behind instead of standing here and making Britain great again. How can we make Britain great if people abandon it at the first?
I was thinking about Italy.
The first bump in the road, they go, "Oh, this is too much for me. I'm out of here." No.
Actually, I left way before Brexit, so sorry.
Yeah. And in that vein, by the way, we just received another hamster report that they have cited Max booking tickets for himself and his belly dancing Buyukana on a steamship to Cairo. The hamster
May
said,
he go,
unfortunately,
and we never see him
Is he
again.
related to Boris Johnson by any chance?
They said, unfortunately, they just missed his departure by 5 minutes, but they have hired a gondola poleman to pole after him, and they hope to catch up with him before he rounds the Isola della Donzella. So you know where that is, Max? They're going to try to catch up to him. By the way, there is a question that has come in, and I just wanted to point it at you. And it is a question here, which first off, there was a comment from Nuclear Savity, Brexit, who points out that there's Brexit benefit 733, that there's so much more space at UK universities without these foreign students and researchers.
There we go. And there's another benefit.
Yeah, but the universities also lost a huge amount of money.
And No Desali has pointed out that for the test, all you need to do is simplify the driving test. What is your name? Which is left? Which is right? And can you see me? I'm over here. If they can get those right, they pass.
I would actually add if they're able to draw a proper union flag. That should be a requirement as well.
Or drive a Dodgem.
Yes.
A Dodgem driving training. And then you get your license. Is that what you're saying?
Don't be so crass.
So what is it? I've got a question for you, Sir Ron Ventry, if that's your real name. So what is the real reason why? Why did you actually vote to leave the European Union? I don't buy all this. Get our sovereignty back. It makes very little sense, you know.
I voted.
Is it about too many brown faces? Maybe?
No. I once went to school with a man with a brown face. Okay. He was a member of the Conservative Party, actually. Oh, wait a minute. No, he had painted his face brown. Okay. No, no, it's not. It's about taking back control of our money, because Europe was controlling our money. They wanted to bring in the euro. They wanted to force the Queen off our currency. That's, that was completely unacceptable.
That's not true.
Let me finish.
That's not true. No, it's not true. You're spreading all these lies and propaganda. That's just not true.
What you said, Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage was right about that. He was there. He knew what was going on. He was our man in Brussels. He understood what they were doing behind closed doors. He was leaking information to Britain, telling us.
The EU? Oh, is it like the EU army? And,
I was just about to come to that.
Frontex, maybe. It's Frontex, the EU army.
Yeah. Yes. Basically, look. Do they wear uniforms? When
was Frontex?
Answer this question. Do they wear uniforms?
Well, so did the police. So did the gendarmes.
Do they carry guns?
So did the gendarmes.
I don't know what you're talking about. So these
gendarmes. I'm not talking about Beatles.
John who?
Gendarmes, French police. They also carry guns. You know what I'm talking about. You're diverting from the question.
No. Look, the EU want to bring in an army. Nigel Farage told us about that, and we were able to get out. We don't want to be part of any military force.
When was Frontex started? Then was that before or after?
No, it was probably after Brexit.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
it was probably because the European Union said, we want to make this Frontex force because we don't want people coming from Britain. We have to punish them. See.
Mm. So I take it you were really upset when France vetoed the contract between Frontex and that British company to patrol the Channel. Do you think is that just punishment? Is that of British companies?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I'm not familiar with that story.
Oh, are you sure? Frontex was going to sign a contract with a British company to patrol the Channel, but France vetoed.
Yes,
that.
Of course they would, because they. I don't want to use horrible language, but that's the French for you. The French have no respect for the British. So, of course, it was it was a British company, then we have to be, we will not allow such companies, such British. We do not want the British coming here. If it was a German company, they probably wouldn't have a problem. If it was a French, German, Italian, Spanish.
I'll just stop you there, because it might be because actually in the European Union, you're a third country.
I said before, we're special. We're not a third country.
No, but you're not. It's just you're saying that you're special, but nobody else is.
Look at the countries around the world who want to do trade deals with us. If we weren't special, they wouldn't want to do trade deals with us. We've done immense number of trade deals in a record time. Look at
they're just EU trade deals, aren't they? Won't they just roll over deals?
No,
roll over and I'll sign it.
Yeah,
bit of pillow talk, maybe.
What's the point? What? Well, what's the point in creating new ones if you can just copy and paste the old one? That's smart thinking.
Doesn't sound very sovereign to me.
It is, because we have our stamp on the top. Before there was the stamp of the European Union. Now it's a stamp with the.
Sounds very superficial.
No, it's
quite shallow, isn't it? All Brexiters are shallow.
I don't like his tone, moderator. Can you please suggest that he changes?
We're not in Parliament.
Sorry?
We're not in Parliament. What's your name, Leslie Hoyle?
He's probably as useful as him. Because he doesn't hold Keir Starmer to account, unfortunately. Keir Starmer is being very rude to the Prime Minister, and he should know his place.
Oh.
But
So what about in
but-
Blackford?
and don't get me started on
Dawn Butler.
disgraceful people. No respect for Parliament. The way that they break the rules, they should be thrown out. They shouldn't even be there. They have no
I
right to
suppose
be
you must
there.
be quite happy that they've got to wear a tie
Yes, at least that.
and no slacks. No slacks.
Yeah, at least someone has made an effort tonight. You know, I take this seriously. I'm not like Ramoners who don't take any of this. This is. Don't blame me. I voted Remain. Blame you for what? Blame you for success. Yes, it's been a huge success. You know. Anyway, you asked me why. You asked me why I
There
voted.
ain't enough lorry drivers.
There are enough lorry. We're going to have enough. You just need patience. We're going to have British lorry drivers delivering British goods.
I hear you're a racist now.
No, I don't know who these Irish people are. Father, I'm not even Catholic. Well, I was, but I became Church of England. You know, I had a bit of a row with Jacob Rees-Mogg over that. But I'm not going to get into that tonight. Now,
Oh, please do. Please do.
no. It is, some words were said. Anyway, in Latin, I may add. Now, look, we voted to take back control of our money. You disagree with that. You think we didn't. The Queen wasn't going to be replaced by the euro.
Not at all.
We control
They're not
our.
interested in that. They really aren't.
We control our borders. We control our laws. Most important of all, probably, we're now able to make our own laws. We weren't able to make our own laws before. We had to just take everything, take the crumbs, take the
That's not
abuse
true.
from the European Commission or Union or whatever.
But that's not
how is it
true.
not true? How we can create our own laws now?
You could before, and you did.
No, we didn't. All of our laws came from Europe.
No, they didn't.
How
can it-
yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
For example,
It's just not true.
For example, if you wanted to work on a building site, you had to wear a hard hat. You couldn't walk around with your head uncovered. There was a rule that came from Brussels. And now we don't have to do it. Now people on building sites can walk around without a helmet.
But they're not. They're still walking around with hard hats on.
Then
They're
they obviously haven't
still-
they haven't actually got the memo that we're sovereign now.
Oh, I see. So you don't think it's a good idea then
What is it?
to protect your head? You're wearing a hat.
No, but that's beside the point. It's that we're free to decide. Now we can decide.
Well, no, but no, they're not. Because they're still abiding by the same laws.
Because
They rolled all the laws over. They haven't changed them.
No, but it just takes time. We just you have to be patient. Probably
So
we're
you
just
haven't really Brexited then.
well, yes, but there's a queue.
Don't sound
There's
like
a queue. We have left, but there is a queue of rules that need to be. Boris Johnson is just one man. Okay, he has a lot on his plate at the moment. Give him a break. He's dealing with this pandemic. He's dealing with Brexit. He's dealing. Sorry.
And going on holiday.
He needs a break. Have you never gone on holiday? Do you
Not recently.
look?
Too busy, Too busy.
Yeah, but
Too
Boris,
much to do,
Yeah, but Boris needs a break. He has so much on his shoulders, so much responsibility. Think about him for a moment. And this poor man who's trying to survive on just 100. Listen to this carefully. Boris Johnson is trying to survive on only £150,000 a year. Think about
And
that.
how much are the lorry drivers getting paid?
Probably more than that. No.
No, we just you said that they were getting paid too much. You pay your butler £3.50 an hour. That's what you said.
That's what he's agreed to.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
I said
the
to him,
lorry drivers get paid too
£3.50,
much,
or
£9 an
there is the door, and you take your family with you. There, and he said, okay. So that's how you negotiate. That's how we should have negotiated with the European
I
Union.
see.
That's how David
Isn't
Frost
that what they
should.
said they were going to do? Then he bottled it and just signed whatever at the last minute.
To a certain extent, yes. Brexit is perfect, but the people implementing it are not. That's the problem. So we needed stronger people, like David Davis. David Davis was a strong Brexiteer. You know that David Davis went to the negotiations with what's his name,
Nothing.
the Frenchman, Michael
Barnier?
Butler. No, Michel Barnier, is that his name? He went to the negotiations and he didn't take a pen or a piece of paper with him. He demonstrated.
He's got such a big brain, I take it.
Yeah, he just demonstrated that we're British.
Okay.
We don't need to take notes. It's all up here.
No. It doesn't work like that.
Did you see the
He
French?
should have planned. He didn't plan anything. They didn't have a plan.
Yes, of course they had a
They
plan.
didn't even expect to win.
Everyone was against them. Nigel said that as well. Everyone was against. Yeah, it was a surprise that it was winning, that it won, because so many people were against it. So many people were trying to block our freedom. That's all you have. Trying to block people's freedom. Why are you still complaining about this? Why do you have such a problem with people wanting freedom?
So you got freedom, yet you got to jump through hoops to exercise it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if you got, I don't know, say if you got to travel, for instance, it's not as though, well, you might be able to because you're really rich and you're, like Jacob Rees-Mogg, do what you like. The ordinary person can no longer.
But I am. Look, I am an
live and
ordinary.
love in the EU.
I am an ordinary person.
I know you wouldn't have that problem, but
no, you just look if you can't get a commercial flight, then you just book a private jet. What's the problem there?
but that's okay with people like you, though, isn't it?
Isn't that what
You've got
everybody
the money
does?
to do so. Well, obviously not. I think you're a little bit how to put it, disconnected with reality. Most people don't live like you.
But Jacob has told me that most people are like that. Like, don't you like? Okay, then what I suggest is that you go down to your local Rotary Club and then you speak with them about whether we are living in a bubble or not. There.
Yeah, you're living in a bubble.
Okay, gentlemen, I sorry I have to interrupt, but we did get another report from the hamsters, and they're just reporting that they have lost Max in a fog bank just off the Isola della Donzella. However, they have set up some small helium-filled balloons with hamster baskets on them to see if they can spot them by air. But I have to tell you that they're worried. They say it is not looking good to be able to find them in the short term, but they're going to keep on looking. Just some notes from the super chat from George, £5. Thank you, George. The name's so nice, they used it twice. British workers are among the hardest working in the world, he says, albeit under insensitized. But EU workers come with itinerant flexibility. And Brian Luff, who has donated £5, thank you, Brian, says, so we can now have trucks that are non-compliant MOT and safety checks. They would be driving a missile, example, petrol tanker. Also, from Marcel de Jong, he has a question for Sir Ron, and his question is, why did you leave the up, Sir Ron?
Sorry,
don't understand the question, but maybe you do.
Why did I leave the up? I don't understand the question. I apologize. Why did I leave the up? No, I don't understand. Maybe they can write the comment again without sending a super chat.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. There was also from AN98 an observation and a question. Ron, will you be joining GB News?
I have submitted my curriculum and I am waiting for a response. Now I have some connections there. Jacob Rees-Mogg has been on drinking beer with the good man himself.
He had cider, actually. He didn't have the beer. Just correct you. You weren't there, were you?
No, I didn't see it. But he has it. He has informed me that he will put in a word for me.
Cider.
So, beer. It's just a matter of time. Unfortunately, the Ramoners are protesting against GB News and convincing people not to watch it. So the ratings are taking a bit of a hit. And even Nigel himself is a little bit worried about that. So I'm ready and willing to jump in, fill his slot, and I'm ready to defend Brexit. Bring it on. Like I'm doing here. Like no offense to my opponent, but he's ignorant of of Brexit. He has no understanding of what's going on here. He doesn't even live in the country. He's abandoned his homeland. I wouldn't do such a thing.
I've abandoned it, but also investors have as well. They're shunning the UK and not investing in it.
No.
They'll come over when it's like flat on its face.
No. The Telegraph have said that
they're going to do some asset stripping.
No.
But again, that's what you're probably doing with your friend Jacob Rees-Mogg.
No, it's not. It's not asset stripping. It's making businesses better.
No, asset stripping is you pull the business apart and you sell everything off.
Yeah, and then you can make some money, and then you can move on to another one. And those businesses were going to collapse anyway. So isn't it better that we can? What I do is I take the money out of them.
What happens? Yeah, but what happens to that money? Do you hoard it somewhere and put it into some tax haven, or do you actually spend it? So we have a trickle down economy instead of a trickle up economy.
Just a moment. Okay. No, my lawyer said I don't have to answer that question. Okay.
Okay. So you're not going to answer it?
I don't have to answer that question. I'm not obliged.
We do have a clarification from Marcel de Jong, by the way, on that question. It should have, instead of reading, why did you leave the up? It should have read, why did you leave the UK, Sir Ron?
Okay. I haven't left.
What you telling me? You don't live in the UK?
No. I'm visiting Robespierre at the moment. Robespierre is my twin brother. Now he's gone.
He's
gallivanting around Venice.
Is he Remainer or did he vote to leave the European Union?
It's a dark spot in our family. Robespierre is a Remoaner.
Are you still talking?
It's difficult. I try to get through to him, but he's hard-headed. He won't listen to me. He won't listen to sense. I'm hoping that perhaps by him seeing this, he will, after he has consumed his beverages.
He's the sharper knife in that drawer.
He's as blunt as a spoon. Look.
Right, you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
I wish you would stop doing that. That's extremely offensive to the good president, who is the Brexit the only president of the United States who supported Brexit. The one before Barack Obama was completely against Brexit. The new one, what's his name? Joe Biden, I think his name is. He's against Brexit as well. We had one man in the White House.
So talking about Biden, have you in the United States? So you must be looking forward to your trade deal with the United States.
Yes, it'd be a wonderful trade deal.
So when do you think that's going to happen?
Well, we don't want to rush it too much. We want to do it. Take our time, do it right. Like with Australia,
tell you it's not likely to happen.
Because you're a Remoaner, of course you're going to put
not at all.
A negative spin on everything.
Biden pretty much said it himself. And Pelosi, not Pelosi, but I've got the name now. The Speaker woman, not Pelosi.
Yes, I think her name is Pelosi, the Speaker of the House.
Not Pelosi on the Senate. No, the one who stands at the podium for Biden.
The Vice President.
That's got a Polish name, huh?
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's get off that one. But yeah,
our trade deal when we want it. Look, we're not.
You hold all the cards.
Of course, like we held with all the cards with Brexit. Yeah, we hold all the cards. We will decide whether we sell off the NHS, for example, which I think it should be sold off. It's past.
That's already happening. You've already started selling off the NHS.
Yeah, and some friends of mine are doing quite well out of that. And
how many of these friends do you speak of?
Well,
is it one?
No.
Two, maybe?
No. It's about a dozen.
But a dozen individuals.
All
sticking the money in their back pocket and hoarding it somewhere.
Because the NHS is inefficient, so they're able to provide services to the NHS which are more efficient and more profitable. It's a win-win. The patients pay a bit more and they get a better service.
So how do you feel about the free ports?
Free ports are
Is it an opportunity for you to hoard and hide more money?
No. Look, we couldn't bring in free ports without Brexit. So Boris Johnson said that himself. It was a benefit of Brexit.
But that's not true.
Yes, it is. Once again, you keep interrupting, trying to say
Not
that,
true. There was already free ports while we were members of the European
yeah, but they were
Union.
not real free ports.
In fact, come on.
Yes, look, if they decided to get rid of them, then it means that they weren't really very good free ports. But the new free ports will be much better. They'll be much more efficient. They're going to bring so many jobs into those areas. Look at Nissan, for example. I think Nissan, or maybe is it a Honda? Maybe no, don't mention Honda.
No, Honda's gone.
yeah, but we don't want those. We don't.
What about Ineos?
Is that the
And
one?
a new Land Rover that's not been built in the UK. Is that sovereign?
Well,
But
we don't.
he's a buddy of yours as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but we don't need Land Rovers anymore because most people live in cities. So what's the point in having a Land Rover? Apart from people like myself who live on a country estate, where we have our land. Mine is a little bit old. It needs a bit of a replacement probably, but I like to keep it because it's for sentimental reasons. But most people live in cities. Most people live in cities, so you don't need a Land Rover or a 4x4. So it's gone. Okay, no problem. We're going to replace it. We're going to replace it with new technology, with electric cars. See, Boris Johnson has said we're going to replace all these cars with electric cars. So we're going to become...
How are we going to do that when we can't make the batteries? Oh, actually, the fact of the matter is this so-called new battery factory, mega battery factories, pretty much Chinese anyway. So it doesn't sound very sovereign to me. And also, France has
we're working,
heavily invested in it as well.
But it's part of global Britain. We're working in collaboration with the Chinese.
You've got to be sovereign and be in control.
Yeah, well, we are in control.
You don't have a majority.
Well, not yet.
You're not a majority shareholder.
No, but not yet. But we will. You just have to give it time. Like, you have to believe in it. If you believe in it, then and give it time, then it will be the success that we all see.
We've got to wait another 49 years.
And now you're misquoting Jacob Rees-Mogg. Jacob did not say that. He said that some of the benefits will arrive also in 50 years. I think. So I think you're misquoting him. So please don't misquote Jacob Rees-Mogg. It's not very gentlemanly.
Oh, I do apologise. Not.
Okay. Hey.
So we're not getting investment in the UK. We're looking at
yes, we are getting investment.
This autumn, they've already, with the ONS figures, they've already said that we're looking at considerable inflation and considerable price hikes on food. I know food's not a problem for you because obviously you've got your minions, but the ordinary kind of person who looks after you, they do need to be fed.
But yeah, and what's the problem? They go to the food bank. I don't know why you're trying to make a big problem out of this.
The food banks are not going to have... The Trussell Trust are not... They've been saying that they're not getting enough donations because of the current situation.
No, they're probably because they've been engaging in this woke stuff, and that's why people have just decided, look, if you're going to engage in this wokeness, I'm not very familiar with it, but I've heard of it. Jacob has told me about it fleetingly. But he said, if these charities engage in all this wokeness and gender stuff, then of course people are going to get upset, and they're going to decide, I'm not going to donate my extra sell-by date past food to the Trussell Trust. I'm going to give it to someone else, or I'm going to throw it in the bin. So they need to return to reality and decide, look, I care about providing food to people. So even if you have to also look on the bright side. If prices go up, then those selling it make more money, and then if they make more money, then they're going to
because they sell less. It doesn't work like that. Just like Scotland and their whiskey.
I don't drink that.
The first half of the year this year they're down 12% on Scotch whiskey. But I'm sure you're quite glad about that because I imagine you do like a Scotch.
Actually, I don't drink the foreign stuff. I prefer gin or brandy.
Oh, okay.
I was almost tempted to cognac, but it sounds too foreign as well, so I decided against it.
Oh,
Cognac.
gentlemen, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we just received another report from the hamsters. It appears as though they have relocated Max, that his steamboat going to Cairo was turned back due to the fog, and he has re-entered Venice Harbor and has left the ship. He is still wearing his loincloth,
At least
thankfully. Yeah, and he's still traveling with his grandmother, his Turkish belly dancing companion, but they have left the harbor and they're heading out of Venice somewhere. So I just want to give you that heads up. And
Refresh my memory. Why is he wearing a loincloth?
nobody knows with Max why he does what he does. Put some
that's
baby
right.
jam in one end, you never know what's going to come out the other. We did just some comments from the chat. Nerdy Rodent noted that now we are now able to control our borders and limit the amount of food that we distribute. From conservative and unionist news television service, they state Sir Ron speaks sense. From Kendo Knackers, from Kender's Nakosaki, I hope I pronounced that right. It says, "Sorry I'm late. I was washing a big lie off the side of a bus." From 95 Winston, has Jacob still have his money in Ireland? And from a wee Scots dog, there's a little ditty that says, "Boris loves a rollover deal. Ask Akuri, just see what she'll say. Say about playing this dummy and tickling his tummy. It's quite hard to see the appeal." We also have some super chats I want to read to you, gentlemen, from George for £2. Thank you, George. That's 4 Georges for the night so far. And it just says, "Guys, you ain't getting a U.S. trade deal, period." Stuart McKay donated €5. And Sam Wooten with a £10 donation is asking the question, long term, 10 to 20 years, can we hope this does generational damage to Tory party popularity?
I think it'll be quicker than that.
I don't understand the question. Doing damage? No, I think they've confused. No, it's going to do great things for the Tory party. We've seen how it's a success, and Boris Johnson is linked to that success.
I know you believe that, but it's not a success. You can't feed your own people.
Yes,
You've got no food security. It's falling apart.
Look, we don't need to rely on the European Union. We can ship food in from other parts of the world. There, what's the problem?
You had to rely on other countries, even during your, well, obviously you quote quite a bit really, but World War II. We had no food security then, and you seem to think we've got food security now.
Because we relied on the empire. We had the empire, so we don't need to rely on. Look, we need to move away from the European. Look. For example, the vaccine rollout. If we had stayed in the European Union, we wouldn't have been able to roll out the vaccine.
Excuse me. Slow and steady, and now we're taking over. France's vaccination record's far better.
But we were the first. That first is more important.
But now you're the last.
But we were the first. See?
So now you're the last. But no, it doesn't work like that, does it? If you can't even get your medication, you can't get your blood test tubes.
Well, you can if you want to pay for it. So it is. Look, this is maybe a little bit of bad news for poor people. It's just the poor people that are suffering. It's not. And these poor people are suffering anyway. So if they're not going to get their blood test, wow, yeah, I can't, switch on the light. I have no money. Well, you're not going to get a blood test. Oh no, my life is terrible. No, that's not how it works. If they're suffering already, a little bit more isn't going to make any difference.
I think your voters for your beloved Conservative Party may have something to say about that at the ballot box. I hope. No,
the Conservative Party supporters are loyal. They will always vote for us. Who are they going to go to instead?
So the
communist, the communist Keir Starmer.
No, I actually don't. I think they will vote for Tories again, but I think we'll be looking at a different cabinet.
No. They
I
will
don't, I
support.
don't believe your beloved Boris Johnson
Look,
and his.
there is no one with the same
Won't
charismatic
be there.
appeal as Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, look, apart from Jacob Rees-Mogg, I would actually suggest that Jacob.
Wake up! They'll see past all his so-called charisma and his buffoonery. They'll wake up and they'll decide, well, I don't think I like this anymore.
No, you don't understand the Tory voter, because look, let me be honest.
They're not the Tory voters.
Let me
they
be
were
honest.
Brexit voters. That's what they were.
Yes, and
They're not Tory voters.
and they don't
Your
want
red
someone.
wall, that'll disintegrate.
But they don't want somebody to undo Brexit. And what is the communist? What is the communist Keir Starmer going to do? He's going to try and undo Brexit, and people don't want that.
No, he's already said he doesn't want to undo Brexit. He ain't got to undo Brexit.
Yeah, see, he was against it.
Even I don't think they're going to undo Brexit. That's done. I get that.
No, look, they're working in cahoots with the European Union to undo Brexit. Just like John Bercow. John Bercow, that traitor, was trying to undo Brexit as well while he was Speaker of the House. Allowing more time for Ramoners to speak and not enough time for dedicating no time whatsoever.
He's got too much faith in his number plate.
I didn't see his number plate.
You didn't see his number plate.
He should be a
It's
persona.
Mrs. Carr with a...
He should be a persona non grata. He should not be in the UK. He should, for the damage that he has done, he should be deported to I don't know where, the European Union. They should take him. If he loves it so much, why doesn't he go there? That's my response. You know, if people don't love Britain enough, they should go. They should leave. If they don't like the statues, go. If you don't like the fact that Britain ended slavery, yes, we had some slavery for a bit, but if we ended it, if you don't like that, go. Okay? You know, we're tired of this. You know, trying to paint a bad picture of the past.
I take it that obviously you're from a family of slaves yourself.
They were not slaves. They were helpers.
Helpers.
Yeah, we provide
them.
Look,
or do you just sort of like?
I'm sure that my great grandfather sat down with them and said, "Look, would you like food and board, or would you like me to give you money and no food and board?" And they probably decided, "Look, it's quite good here. Let's have food and board." And that's how, you know, people are practical.
Oh, there. So okay, that's a different topic. You know, what about the musicians?
What
the fact they've lost their touring rights. I know that's not something that you'd be particularly interested in, but lots of people are who would like to tour European Union member states.
What's wrong with touring Kent? Or Middlesbrough? Or Liverpool, if you want to go into that communist area?
They want to venture out.
But
it's about opportunities.
But why is it necessary? Everything is good here. You have everything you need here. We have 60 million people. Isn't that enough? Why do you need to go to other places?
You've got 60 million people. You've got 12 million. Them are children. So you haven't got 60 million people, have you?
Children like music too. Are you suggesting that children don't like music? There. Debunked. Okay.
No, not at all. So basically, it hasn't answered the question. Is in fact that how we're going to tour the European Union without all the, extra bureaucracy, paying for all these fees. What do you like sport? I suppose you like horse racing. How are we going to do that?
What's the problem with horse racing? We breed all the horses here. My uncle breeds horses as well. I don't see the problem. What's the problem? Is it about the hats? We can't get the hats.
Well, you got yours, so you're okay, Jack.
Okay, gentlemen, before we lose sight of some previous issues and go off on the hat subject, I just want to read some more comments out of the chat as to things you have already discussed. From Conservative and Unionist News Television Service, they state that the empire is coming back. India are desperate to do a deal with the UK. Next, they'll be asking us to come over and take over control again to show them how to run the country. From Bert, He mentions that only the poor and the middle class are suffering, so Brexit is a great success. From Umka, we have a €5 super chat. Thank you, Umka. And she points out that it is not famine. It is the Tories helping the NHS to fight T2 diabetes and obesity epidemics. And finally, from Noxum Volpenher, a £10 donation, and with a super chat question. And the question is, having many farming peers, can Sir Ron Ventry, I think it's Venti, please speak to the plight of all British farmers struck with financial difficulties. Also, what will they do when forced to sell their land and pack up?
Well, they could
Well,
drive.
many of them are going to commit suicide.
Well, I don't think it's... look, I think many of them can become lorry drivers. There.
So you don't think that's a problem, because the suicide rates have actually increased amongst farmers?
I don't know about that. But I think, look, a door is closed and another is opened, so there's a possibility for them to drive lorries. There's no need for them to do anything else. If we can't,
so you got to drive the lorries about, but you're not going to have any farmers to grow the food in the first place, for which you want to transport with the lorries that you're going to put the
because
farmers
we're importing it.
in the
We're
lorries.
importing it from Australia. Wake up! We're
Australia?
importing it from Australia, so cheaper than growing it here. So we don't need farmers. So we do need lorry drivers. So we ask the farmers, look, become a lorry driver.
You're going to transport letters.
They can drive a tractor. It's probably not that difficult.
So what about the perishables? You're going to be transporting the perishables from Australia. You realise they won't make the journey.
Which perishables?
I don't know, like lettuce, for instance, for argument's sake.
Well, we can grow it here.
It'll be a bit of a limp lettuce, that'll be.
We can grow it here. John Redwood said that we should be growing British lettuce and we should be consuming
You've got no farmers, because you put them all in the lorries.
No, well, I'm talking about the ones who are unemployed. We can take
But
unemployed
they're all
people.
going to be unemployed at this rate.
Then we can.
They're going to be selling off all the land.
Yeah, but they don't all have to drive lorries. Some of them can be.
Well, where are you going to grow your lettuces?
They can. Some of them can be growing lettuce. Some of them can be driving lorries. Some of them can be checking the border. Some of them.
Fertilizers, your inputs that are required for the farming industry. Where's all that going to be coming from? You realise it all comes from the European Union.
No, you were talking about sewage in the water. We can use that as fertilizer, can't we? We just, redirect it into the fields.
No,
Yeah.
you can't do that. It's got pathogens in it. You're going to poison it all. Your population.
No. Look,
More E. coli, why don't you?
no. Look, if it's left out under the sun, I'm sure it'll be okay after a while.
You have a lot of flies. I know that much. They'll clean up for you, I'm sure.
Look. I think you just.
Right, I've got a solution. No, maybe not. You've got Nigel Farage's, Farage garages, and you've got all that urine, which is high nitrogen. You can collect all that urine in those little bottles on the side of the road, and dilute it 10%, and put it on your lettuces. And you'll grow twice as many lettuces, it means half the amount of land, and it will be fine, in your mind.
Is there a problem with this? I think you're becoming absurd at this stage. Look, we don't need.
You didn't answer the question. Where are we going to get all of the fertilizers, etc.? 1 minute you were saying about using the poo out of the sea instead of pumping it into the sea. We're going to pump it onto our fields. Yeah, the old turd and a bit of pink toilet paper, and we're going to be eating that. Yeah. Never mind the bugs on the blooming leaves. We'll be worrying about a bit of pink toilet paper and a tampon.
I'm sure it'll be filtered before it goes there.
No, that's the CSOs. The whole point of the CSOs is to relieve the pressure off the sewage works, from which you could be diverting onto the fields, but you're not going to be able to. No, so all the CSOs are going to be diverted to the fields, and they won't be filtered. No, you can have a little bit of a grate maybe, and that's about it. You have to hire somebody in a funny suit like a hazmat suit to pick out all the tampons and
Hire
Yeah.
people. There we go.
Ow,
Jobs
stuff.
again.
Yeah. I hope you're going to do that job.
Ju-
You already said you're going to help out with the lorries for like, I don't know, 30 minutes
ju-
on
ju-
stage, getting
gentlemen-
the truck out again.
Gentlemen, I think I better change the conversation a little
Yes,
bit.
please do.
We have a super chat from Brian Luff for £5, and he asked the question, what do you think about expats being sent home like illegal immigrants?
Ooh.
Would you like to begin?
Well, I think it's absolutely disgraceful. The fact they've been locked up, stuck in the back of a van, handcuffed, and probably probed. Frontex wouldn't do that.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What do you sorry. What do you think about expats being sent home like illegal immigrants?
Well, first of all, they're not illegal immigrants because foreigners are illegal immigrants, so they are expats. Expats being sent home is disgraceful because these people add to, for example, Spain. If they're in Spain, they add to the economy. They buy drinks in the bar. They go on holiday there. They live there. They contribute to society. They contribute to the economy. They should be treated with respect, and they should not be deported unless they want
And they
to be.
don't pay local taxes, so I'm fine with that. Ta-ta.
Look, I think it's disgraceful that
Most of them are
expats.
scammers. Not all of them, but a lot of them are scammers.
Look, expats should be treated with the respect that they deserve.
Okay, I agree with that.
And they should not be deported. They add to society, and I don't see why we should even consider the fact.
I'm a bit curious about this one because obviously you must be a law-abiding citizen and what have you. So it's okay for them to be driving about in their English-registered vehicles, and yet they've got their carte de jour maybe, and they're no longer insured because they've got English insurance.
But they're British, so they should be treated with respect.
It's kind of missing the point. So that's okay. In that case, then, are you saying that everybody in Britain doesn't need insurance or even a license to drive their vehicles? I know you ain't got that problem because obviously you've got your driver in your Bentley. So that's
Rolls.
you're fine.
Bentley is too lower class. Rolls Royce. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
So, so it's okay for them to be lawbreakers just because they're British, because they're special. Obviously,
No. It's okay if they're abroad. So like if it's abroad, then it's their problem. It's not our problem.
But that's so. Are you saying that because it's their problem, they should be? Should they be dealing with the problem then, or just letting?
I don't care if they want to, if they deal with the problem, but they shouldn't deport these people because these people are contributing to society. There must be some other way they can deal with it, like give them a slap on the wrist or slap on the wrist. You say, give them a slap on the wrist or say, like, sir, don't do that again, and let them go on their merry way.
Yeah, but that's not why. That's actually not the reason why they've been deported, is it? They've been deported because they haven't been living in that country officially. So they've got no evidence or proof that they've been living in that country. So they don't abide by the rules.
Yes,
to
but
prove that they've been living there.
But they shouldn't be treated like the people who come into this country illegally.
But they are illegals. So they be treated
No, they're not. Please don't use that term. They're not.
No, they are illegals.
They're not. No. Please do not use that
They're
term.
illegal immigrants.
No, they're not. No, please. Moderator,
Actually, why
can
do we
you
use
please?
that word expats? They're not even expats.
No.
What are you talking about? That's poppycock.
No. These people are expats. They're not immigrants.
No. They are not expats. No.
Look, can we not agree on the terminology? These people are not immigrants. They are expats. Okay, there's a big difference between an immigrant and an expat. An expat.
They're illegal immigrants. But I'm sorry, but they are. They are illegal. I'm sorry you're offended by that statement, but they are illegal immigrants. They might be British illegal immigrants, but they're still illegal immigrants.
No, they're
you
not.
can call them still illegal immigrants if you like, but they're still illegal immigrants.
They're not illegal immigrants if they're British.
They're illegal. How they're not legal when they haven't got legal status? It means they're illegal immigrants.
Maybe illegal expats, but not illegal immigrants.
Oh no, they're legal immigrants because they had no intention to stay. Although they are, because it's convenient to avoid
then
taxation
what?
in
Then
the
what?
UK.
Okay, then what is an expat then? If these people aren't expats,
Well, it's just someone who's never really settled. I'm an immigrant as far as I'm concerned.
then what's the difference between an expat and an immigrant?
Well, an immigrant is somebody who has an intention to return to the UK. But if so, an expat is give my tongue. An expat is somebody who intends to return to the UK. They never intended to settle.
And maybe these people never intended to settle.
And besides, it's not even a real term anyway. That was made up to make people feel superior.
No, it's not true. That's not true.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Are you saying that my Uncle Rupert is an immigrant because he lives in Switzerland from?
I don't know his
from
particular
time
story.
to time?
I don't know his status. Is he registered to live there? Has he got the equivalent of a carte de séjour?
Well, he does. Well, he does move money around in Switzerland. Yes. I don't know if he's registered. He lives there. We don't get to see him very
he's
often.
a legal immigrant then.
No, don't say. I don't like you using this term. It suggests that he's doing something underhanded. He's not. Okay, these British people abroad are expats. Okay, let's move on because we're not going to get. Like if you have decided I'm not going to, I don't like British people living abroad. I'm going to call them the same as people coming across illegally on boats, in rubber boats, trying to invade Britain. Look, if you're going to regard them in the same light, then I don't think there's much point continuing in this discussion.
All right. From the chats, we do have a comment from Obriel, who says, aren't they illegal in the countries that they formerly resided if they didn't fill out the proper paperwork? Kind of like a truck full of rotting fish at the border.
Maybe they didn't fill out the paperwork correctly because it was in a foreign language. Like if the documentation was in English, then they would have been able to complete it correctly. Like, why when we go abroad, why do we have to learn the foreign language? Why do we have to complete documentation in the foreign language? Don't they understand that we're special? Why is it so difficult?
All right. And from the super chats, we have 3 super chats. One from Paul H. in the amount of £5. And Paul says, hi, Ron. You cannot possibly be accepting those dirty euros. Can I have them? From Header Hanks, if there is a donation of £1.79. And Heather says, hope everyone buys 2 poppies this year. And then from Umka, we have a donation of €2. And she says, expat is not a legal term. Brits are immigrants.
Yay!
From Stuart McKay, a donation of €5. And Stuart says, your lordship, how are you with the EU tax haven ban? Rees-Mogg keeps 150 million in Cayman Islands via Somerset Capital. Are you okay with that?
I am.
And finally, from Noxum Volpenhaar, £5, and he says, expats benefit their chosen country, but a Brexit is a Brexit. And that means expats are not European citizens. Does Sir Ron not respect due process?
No.
I do, if it's British due process. There. I want to respond to the question about Jacob Rees-Mogg with 150 million in the Cayman Islands. He's helping the economy there. He's investing in the Cayman Islands. He has so much money in Britain, he can't keep it in his bank account. It's not safe. So he moves it to the Cayman Islands. Perfectly reasonable, perfectly legal. And he's helping the economy there. And people don't look at that. The Cayman Islands would be a backwater if so many people didn't invest in it.
Just putting money in a bank in the Cayman Islands doesn't mean to say that you're investing in it. You're just hoarding it there. It's not being used. So how's it investing in the country?
It's creating jobs in all those banks
It's
that
not
need to be
creating any
set up.
jobs. It's just sitting there. It's just a way of avoiding taxation. So where's the investment?
Well,
I don't see how Cayman Islands is actually benefiting from it, other than the banking sector to be able to use that money. But the locals aren't. No one there's benefiting.
but don't the banks physically exist in the Cayman Islands? Don't they create jobs for the people in the
It's all
community?
digital, like your lorries.
I believe that they create jobs in the local community, and from time
So
to time,
you're
people
saying
like
that
Jacob
all
Rees-Mogg
these
go there
locals
and they stay in a
require-
hotel to make sure that their money is safe, and they spend money in the hotel. They maintain the
Oh, they stay in the hotels and they protect the money.
to check on the money, to make sure that everything is okay. You know, if you had 150 million pounds
And
sitting
how
in a
many
bank
people
account,
do you need for that? If that was the case, which it isn't.
but anyway, like, what's the point in keeping it in Britain? I'm afraid there's a risk that there will be a communist takeover by the Labour Party.
You're afraid that
And what are they going to do? They're going to tax people. They're going to tax people into poverty. They're going to, you're going to see tax rates of 99%. And then there'll be
high tax rates only affect the rich, such as yourself.
Yes, and
High taxes.
we create employment. Do you create employment? No, you do not. You should be worshipping the rich because they create so many jobs. That's what they're doing every day. They're creating so many jobs. And what is the response from people? Oh, we need to tax them into poverty.
They're creating so many jobs. They're not paying any taxes. Like, for instance, I don't know. Amazon in the EU, for instance, making like 44 odd billion, but then registering about 16 billion debt.
But they create they create so many jobs. So many people are working
in the gig economy, pulling away all the drivers from other jobs such as the care sector. So, what's happened to all those people who, required care? I hear that your mother, or your father, or some of your relatives, aren't they in a home?
It was the best home we could pay for. Yes.
No.
They're very happy there. They're reminiscent of World War II, and how they would, transmit messages over to the. Whether we better not talk about that. But look, if the care industry can't afford to pay for the drivers, tough. I'm sorry. This is capitalism. Get used to it. You don't like it? Go live in South Korea or somewhere. This is the reality we have. If you don't like it, go away.
And then you'll have less people to drive your lorries. I do get the feeling all you want to do is push people away.
No, it's about creating jobs for. Look, the British people are honourable people, but they're also feckless and
Now you sound like Alex Belen Belfield.
No. They're
That's exactly what he said about the
feckless, job shy, layabouts. A lot of them, and they need a kick up the behind in order to get out of unemployment, getting off universal credit or welfare or whatever you call it.
These people
are
unemployment in the UK. When unemployment in the UK is very low.
No, it's not. It's very high, and there are too many people.
It's very low.
Too many people on welfare, benefiting, sitting in front of their TVs, eating snacks all day, and they should be working. They should not be doing that. Spend all their day listening to Jeremy Klein or whoever, and instead of working, they should be, pulling themselves up from with their bootstraps. They should be out there earning a decent pay for a day, honest day's work. That's what they should be doing. And if I was in charge, I'd remove this universal credit completely. I'd remove welfare completely, because the more you give them, the more they want.
Furlough.
And furlough as well. I wouldn't have given them furlough. I said, you want.
You don't sound like very much. You don't sound like a man of the people, really, do you? You're
Yes,
very sort of like.
No, I am
self-interest.
No. I am a man of the people because
your people.
It's tough love. That's what you need. You need tough love from time to time. People look. They come to you and say, "Oh, look, I have no money. I have no food. Go to the food bank." Oh, but I I can't work because I have back problems. Then do a job that doesn't involve, using your back, okay? I'm disabled. We'll find you doing something. Don't worry. We'll get you to do something. If you have a bit of get up and go, then you'll be able to find a job. So many people just throw in the towel. They don't care. They prefer to sit on, their sofas smoking cigarettes and drinking whatever working class people drink all day.
Yeah,
okay?
again, that's not even true, is it? Let's be honest. That's not true.
I've seen
the working class generally work. Otherwise, the country would be functioning at all.
But no, look, the working class don't work because look, I've seen the material from the Conservative Party.
The Express.
And the Express. Yes. Oh, sorry. Are you suggesting that the Express is problematic in some way?
Very much so. Yes. Well, wouldn't you say that they promote a lot of their rubbish through paying for preferential placement in Google and Facebook?
Well, maybe maybe if they are promoting their newspaper, there's nothing wrong with that.
They don't. There's very little truth in it. They're a bit like Boris Johnson. They just like to lie all the time.
No. Look. What the Express
expand on things to such an extent. You might as well be lying.
The Express is a very good newspaper because it listens to the people.
No, it's not.
Yes, what it does is it takes an article and then what it does, it rewrites another article based on the comments of the original article. So it's listening to what people have to say, and it releases that as a new article, and you get many different points of view.
It sounds like an echo chamber. That's what you just described.
No. It's.
It is. You just sound just
no,
like an echo chamber.
No, you're just saying that because you just.
But let's what did Dominic Cummings say? What did he say? He said that Boris Johnson is ruled by the Telegraph, and Boris Johnson tells all the other newspapers what to do.
No, Boris Johnson tells the truth. It just happens to align with the Telegraph. Okay.
He's constant. He can't help himself. He's a sociopath. He just can't help himself. He just lies all the time. He's just like this man.
I don't like you using symbols like that. That is extremely offensive. Please don't do it again. No. Please, moderator. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, we have another super chat from George. And it's a question for you, Sir Ron. It says, does Sir Ron understand UK being a third nation?
One of the worst we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
You're twisting his words out of context. Sorry, can you repeat? Does Sir Ron...
Does Sir Ron understand the UK being a third nation?
No.
No, we're not a third nation or a third country. We're not a third country or a third world country. Some people would like to paint us as a third world country. No, we're not. We're special. Now, that might
you still got to abide by third country rules.
No, we don't.
No matter what you call yourself, you don't set the rules.
So what we need to do...
You did set the rules, but
look, we sent Lord Frost to Brussels and he bangs his fist on the table and the Europeans shut up.
Laughed at him.
No, they shut up and they listen because he has demonstrated that, we are an independent nation and you have to respect us. We're not going to be pushed around like other Liechtenstein or whatever, or Ireland, or we're no longer any of these little countries that will just do your bidding. We're going to stand up to you. We're doing it now. We've left. You didn't want us to leave. We left. I'm sorry. Get over it. You lost. You tried to corrupt our parliament, via John Bercow. It failed. We left. Now, what we need to do is, if you want to trade with us, and you do most of your trade with us,
but if you are a third country.
No, we're not a look. You keep using this term.
You have to abide by third country rules.
No, we don't.
So how are you that special then? Because it doesn't look like that you're setting your own standards or rules at the moment.
We are.
You're having to abide by more bureaucracy. It's not less bureaucracy, it's more. Otherwise, how do you explain all the imports? And what about the phytosanitary, for instance? What's going to happen in October when they come in for imports as well as exports? How is that going to help?
Look, we're moving away from the European Union, so we don't need to to care about these checks because
No, you're not. You're actually in exactly the same position you were before. Yeah. How far is it from, Dover to Cali? About 22, 23 miles?
but we don't need to deal with the French anymore. We can trade with other countries around the world. We've seen how Lord Frost and Liz Truss has signed hundreds of trade deals, dozens of trade deals with countries all around the world. So we don't need to deal with the French anymore. We're tired of the French, okay?
I wouldn't tell that, but that doesn't make it. It doesn't change the facts. The fact is, you are trading as a third country with the European Union still, or trying to, and the idea that you're going to be able to trade with all these other countries is for the birds. You can't deny the fact that there's a physical location. The European Union member states
there is
are on
a
our
change.
doorstep.
But there is a
And
change
it is
because
the biggest market of 447 million people.
at the moment, but
Even
we're
America's
changing.
only 350 million, also about 20 odd million in Australia.
Yeah, but how many
people?
how many people are living in China?
Well, 1.3
There we
billion.
go. How many times is
yeah,
that bigger
okay.
than the European Union?
And how many people in China could compare with the economy of, we've got the disposable income of Europeans?
I'm sure a lot of Chinese people earn a lot of money.
No. they don't.
But
Just like India.
India,
There's a lot
there
of
we have
poverty. Too
yeah,
much poverty.
yeah, but it balances itself out. There are
But
the
it's
very
not
rich
balanced,
people,
is it?
and there are very poor
There's
people.
very
but-
rich people, and then there's the majority. Oh dear.
No, look.
Oh.
Then what we
kinda
do?
how it is.
Then what we do is we get rid of what we had before with the Erasmus thing that was.
Sounds like North Korea.
No, we're going to get. We have now the Turing system, the Turing project scheme, and that's going to bring in just the rich people. So we're going to have the best because the rich are the best.
Alan Turing, what for the bring in the best?
Yeah, the best students from around the world. We're not going to deal with the Europeans anymore. We're going to bring in the best from around the world and the richest. And if they are the richest, it means they are the best. Because before we had the European one, we just let in anyone, anyone, poor people as well. We don't want the poor people. What's the point in bringing in poor people? They have to. It's a type of affirmative action in a sense for poor. Yeah, we have to bring in a certain number of poor people.
Are you saying that everybody in the European Union are poor?
Just we don't need those rich European people. We have an ocean of other people around the world that we can pick from. We can say, well, yeah, let's have some Japanese people. Let's have some Australian people. We have the rich people from Japan and the rich people from Australia. We don't need the rich people from Europe anymore.
How's the Turing project help with those?
Well,
the fund is tiny. It's the Turing project fund is tiny.
Actually, we don't actually need to fund it because they will pay. They're rich. They will pay for it. They will pay to learn English.
Is it why that these countries are going elsewhere? The students from these countries that you speak of are now going elsewhere. They're choosing not to come to the United Kingdom.
Students from where?
From China, from Japan.
No, I look at the beginning. Maybe they're
even heading to places like Romania and places like that to do their education.
No, but then why would they go to Romania if they can come to Britain and learn English?
It's very good
for
health training. For the nurses and doctors.
Gentlemen, I just need to read some super chats that we've received, and there's a few questions in there. Super chat comes from Peter Stewart for £5, £4.49. It says, bring Sir Ron to Ginger Island. I think with Ginger Island. Make him king, and he can have all the sovereignty he wants, and create all the laws he wants for his small-minded world.
What we can do is we can tie him to the mangroves, and dusk and dawn, when the sandflies come out, they can nibble them.
This is some very hospitable place.
From Brian Luff, we have a donation of £5, and he says, reemploy was for disabled workers, and they have closed every single factory down. I worked there, in fact. From Stuart McKay, donation of €5, and he says, are Eton-educated, marble-mouthed boys club toffs generally more intelligent than lower working classes?
Yes.
No. No.
From Noxum Volpenhair, donation of £5, and it says, speaking of independence, surely Sir Ron can respect the come about of the greater unspoken calls for Irish unification. Does Ulster have a say? So let's just speak about Irish unification for a second, and does Ulster have a say?
Well, Ulster doesn't have a say because we decide. Like in Scotland, it's like a marriage. If divorce is illegal, then you're not leaving. So
it's the choice of the people. That's not our choice.
No, it's
the same as Scotland. If the people want to leave the United Kingdom, alone.
First of all, the people,
not up to us.
The people don't want to leave.
That's very stuff. It's just like, I want to keep it. It's my Scotland. It's my Northern Ireland. It's mine.
Look. Can you just think about it for a moment? My family has land in Scotland. Now, if Scotland became independent, that's going to create a big problem for us. So we don't want that.
Are you related to Prince Charles?
A little bit, but I don't want to go into that.
Yeah, and Andrew.
The less said about Andrew, the better. He's a respectable man. I think he's been painted in a very bad light. He has an eye for the ladies, especially younger ones, but we better not go into that. Anyway,
I hate to interrupt you, but actually we just a report from the hamsters. The hamsters are reporting that Max is at the front door to his house. He seems to have lost his belly dancing partner, and he's mumbling something about taking revenge on the sender of the baby jam. I don't know what that means, but it means something.
Okay, then I'll have to be going in a little bit because he's a bit difficult to deal with. So no, I just want to answer this question.
I get a feeling you're not invited. Are you gatecrashed?
No. I was invited by the moderator here to speak tonight.
But not by Max.
No, to hell with him. He's not here, so he's not here to talk.
He's back.
Okay, well, look, let me finish this question on Irish unification, which is not going to happen because we're not going to permit it. Anyway, look, we have done so much for Ireland over the last number of centuries. When they had nothing to eat, we sent them some food. You never hear about that in your history books.
No, I don't think I read that one. Wasn't it the opposite?
No. Look, some food was exported, yes, because the economy had to function, okay. But we did send some food back. I don't remember how much it was, but look, if the people let me state something. If the people grew only potatoes, then they were not very clever, were they? They should have grown other things. They should have predicted, look, maybe having one plant is not a good idea. We should actually diversify. We should think a bit better. So if what happened to them...
You have heard about blight, haven't you? Do you understand what blight is?
Yeah, it's like a type of fungus or something on the potatoes.
Yeah, well, it is a fungus, yeah. But having more plants, it's got something to do with how many plants you got at all.
But they should have, like, why didn't they eat cake or something instead? Like, why did they focus on just potatoes? Why didn't they go out and buy bread or cheese or caviar or lobster or something? Why did they stay, I'm going to eat potatoes, and then, the potatoes aren't growing very well, or the potatoes are rotten. Why would you continue to eat? Why would you stay focusing on that? You need to diversify. It's like, when you're investing, you don't put all of your millions into one account, into one...
You sound very privileged.
No, I am a man of the people. Like, it's...
Well, obviously not, because the people don't live like you. So how can you be a man of the people?
Because
It's like your Boris Johnson. He's no man of the people.
Yes, he is.
No, not at all.
Look
How is he a man of the people when he just looks after himself?
Look today.
That's kind of
what did he do
what
today?
you want to do.
He increased taxes on people who are working. Did he increase tax on people who are not working? No, he's a man of the people. Richer people are going to pay a little bit more. Some maybe a lot less, but it balances itself out. Remember, we can't overtax.
You've got all your money in tax havens.
But that's money that has already been earned. You shouldn't be taxing people's money if it's already been earned. Like, would you like if I come in and took that sofa or chair you have away and said, I want that chair, and you say, but that's my chair. I've paid for it. Yes, but I've decided it's mine now.
But that's money that's already been earned, you say. But it's money that has no taxes have been paid on it in the first place.
But the taxes have been paid.
You're only talking about the taxes for the employees who have made you money. They might have paid their taxes, but you
is that not enough?
Money.
Is that not enough?
Because it means that you haven't been paying your way.
But I receive a salary from the company. It's £1 per year, but it's still a salary. But it's so that and I pay tax on that. Not a huge amount. I admit.
A tiny amount.
Sorry.
A tiny amount.
It's
you
need to invest. I suggest I can give you the number of my accountant. You need to. He's quite expensive, but you need to invest in a good accountant. We can argue about whether it's good or not, or how much people should pay. But at the end of the day, we are the ones creating jobs for the working class. That's how I'm a man of the people.
But what have you actually done to create these jobs other than sit in your little ivory tower and pretty much do nothing at all? Just allow other people to potentially create the jobs. You just sit there and say, "I'll take my money. I'll put it over there."
But you need the capital to get it moving. If there's no capital, then it won't get moving. So you need someone at the top.
Where did you get your capital from?
From
inheritance.
Yes, of course.
Slavery.
No. Well, I prefer not to go into that.
Oh, but you would do, wouldn't you? Because obviously, if it was that, it's a bit embarrassing for you, isn't it?
No, it's not embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing. It has been twisted in a way. People have tried to turn it into something negative. Remember, these people, we offered them better quality of life in Europe, in England, and some of them said no, and some of them said yes. So we took everyone. And, they were probably better off. So,
but how are they better off when they're on minimum wage? They're just surviving. That's not, the people that put you where you are, they aren't. They're just getting by.
But if they didn't
how
have
are you
a job,
making their lives actually better?
But they're not on.
You just let them on by their fingertips.
No. But they're not on welfare. If they were on welfare, they'd have nothing. We're giving them a job.
Well,
okay.
In fact, the matter is, a lot of them are probably better off being on welfare because you're not paying a decent wage.
Well, then we need to get rid of welfare. If people are better
UBI?
off. No, I'm not familiar with that. UBI.
You're not familiar. Let's see. No, okay. So you don't want to. You're not familiar with it, or you don't want to.
Gentlemen,
agree
we're
with it.
getting away from the topic of the Brexit benefits here.
Oh, there we are.
In fact, George brings it up, and he says, for in a super chat, £5. Thank you, George. Since the Northern Ireland Protocol has benefited Northern Ireland very well, is that not a Brexit benefit?
Well, Northern Ireland did struggle at the beginning.
Well,
and then it turned around for them because they simulated it with buying their stuff from the European Union, not from Ireland. Irish cheddar, for instance.
Well, look, I don't know whether it's a Brexit benefit. It's a minor benefit for Northern Ireland, this protocol. But I don't support the protocol. I think we should get rid of it.
Go both ways, The EU are benefiting as well. It's not just.
No. The EU is not benefiting from Brexit.
Well, they are. They're benefiting. They benefit greatly.
No.
Oh, they are.
No.
They are.
Look, you can say yes, they are, and I can say no,
to Northern Ireland now.
Look, they're not benefit. What? Otherwise, why would they want it? Why would they want us back?
Why have they got a ferry between Rosclare skipping the land bridge.
Because look at the benefits of that. There are fewer trucks on the road, so we need fewer drivers. There's less pollution. It's benefit for all.
It's actually more pollution because it's a longer trip for the ferries.
It's more pollution for them, but it's not pollution here in Britain. So, it's their problem to fix.
So you think pollution is a local issue?
It's like fish. British fish. The fish in our waters are British fish. The fish in French waters are French fish. The fish in Irish waters are Irish fish.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump in here again because we have 2 more super chats, and it's getting a bit late, and I'm a little worried that Max is going to find somebody sitting in his chair. There's 2 more super chats. One from Mike Higgins, €5. Thank you, Mike. It says, "Will all shorts bring a building crew to Dover to build the offices for the customs checks, as the UK hasn't done it?"
Yeah, they haven't. Like they haven't done in Ireland.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
The only problem is I can't get the materials. There's no cement. There's no wood. In fact, the wood is like 70% or 83% there. So, yeah, I think we're a bit of a cropper there, to be honest. I don't think that's going to happen.
And from Cash Tummy, we have a donation of €5. And his question is, why does the noble Sir Ron Ventry waste his time talking to a third-rate plasterer? And will he downgrade to a Bentley if the communists take over?
Well, first of all, the communists will not take over. We have first past the post. So you're not getting it. And why do I debate with it? Well, because I am a man of the people. I believe it's important that we who are right try to convince those who are wrong, convert them.
So you are wrong, and you're not a man of the people, are you?
But I am a man of the people.
You just trained yourself every step of the way about me, and I'm rich. You lot get over it.
Look, you need some tough love. You need to be convinced. First of all, I try to convince you in a polite way that you are wrong, that you didn't want to listen to it. I tried it in a more aggressive way. Still doesn't work. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There are people who start off from the position that Brexit is always wrong. And you can't convince them. You can't show them the light. Brexit is a success. We have our money back. We have our borders under control. We create our own rules. Yes, the European Union is trying to create problems.
How much does Brexit cost so far?
Brexit is making money. It's not costing money.
It's not. It's costing money. How
the Express
how is it making
said
money
it's
when
making...
the lorries are stuck in car parks in Kent?
It's making money in other ways. You don't see it. Like, yes, there are some hiccups, there are some bumps in the road, of course, but that's normal when you change.
Where is it making money? Other than
the city is making money.
It's not though.
Okay, but look, I think there's a huge opportunity.
What about the 2 trillion that's left the United Kingdom?
Well, look, there's also the opportunity for companies like my friend Jacob Rees-Mogg, who runs, we can jump in. There's a company who's on its knees. We can, sell off some of its assets, turn it around. If you want to call it that.
You don't turn it around.
Okay, you turn around parts of it.
You break it up.
You break it up, okay, and you sell it off, but it was going to collapse anyway.
What about all the employees then? What happens to them when you do that?
Well, they can probably find jobs in other industries.
What, as lorry drivers?
Perhaps. There you go. There you find. See, finally, you see something positive. See, there is an opportunity. You just need to be a bit more positive. There's an opportunity. If they lose their job here, worst comes to worst, they can call their parents and say, look, can you lend me 50 grand? Well, what's the problem here? I really don't understand the problem here.
Because you've got money, and most people don't have it.
They have liquidity problems, or they don't really have money.
But they just don't have that kind of money. They don't have a disposable income, or they don't have savings. They might be working all Oh,
But,
God
like-
send and going to the food banks to make up for the fact they haven't got enough to buy food, and that's if they get older food. You know, you haven't even got your straight bananas.
because of the European Union. Anyway, I think I'll be needing to go soon because I can hear someone at the door. Moderator, do you have any more questions?
Yes, we have one last from Noxum Philipper, £5, and it says, sorry, had to forward this message from Maximilian Robespierre. Ron, get off my chair and the platform. You suck like a promise to the fishermen.
Your brother don't like you, does he?
No, he's an idiot. He's
But
the
you-
idiot in the family.
I get a feeling he thinks the same about you.
But Mrs.
And
Max
smell
is
what-
coming for you too, Ron.
Okay.
And you suck like a promise to the fishermen. You're the best buddies of Roger Farage.
And George for £2 donation. Thank you, George. George states 27 other United countries cannot
Not
be
wrong.
wrong, Ron.
Yes, they can, George.
No, but they're not.
Yes, they can, but because they don't believe they will be next. I can guarantee the next country out of the European Union will be France. Then it will be Germany. Then it will be Ireland. Then it will be what's the one with the strange sort of symbols? Anyway, those countries are going to be out of the European Union. They're queuing up. They're going to look across the border, going to look across the sea. They're going to see how you're going to see how great global Britain is, and they're
You
going
do
to say,
realise they're looking odd, and they're looking at you're a laughing stock.
No, that's just Ramona propaganda. They are jealous. Did you not see that article in the newspaper
Mac,
back in January about how the German people are looking at Britain's rollout of the vaccine with envy? Did you not see that?
No.
It was in the Express. Anyway,
Maybe why?
Not
Not reality.
There's somebody. Okay, I have to go. Yes, look, I have to sort out someone. So I want to say thank you to the moderator. Thank you for tolerating this person beside me here for so long. I've reached the end of my tether. I can't take any more of him. He's been extremely rude, but this is typical of Ramoners. They resort to rudeness when they have no more arguments to present. So I want to say thank you to everyone.
What was your argument anyway?
I told you my argument. Brexit is a success because we've taken back control of our borders, our money, our laws.
You haven't.
We have our sovereignty.
You've got less sovereignty now than you had before. You gave away your sovereignty with all those little rollover trade deals.
We control our waters.
Australia.
We control our waters now.
No, we don't.
We control our borders. We decide who comes in and out of our borders. We couldn't do that before.
Well, you could, but you haven't got that now.
Look at the pandemic. During the pandemic, Boris Johnson...
You've got more immigration there coming into the UK than you had before.
Because they're coming here to do work. The ones before were not coming to work. They were coming to...
All the ones without passports coming across the channel.
They were coming to live off the welfare system. That's why. That's what they want. Now that they have to go back, Britain is going to be better. So I want to thank everyone for coming on. I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. I hope I have convinced you that Brexit is a success and continues to be a success. Great for Britain. I don't care about the European Union. If it's good for them, good. If it's not, who gives a crap?
It's very good for the European Union. They're rubbing their hands together.
I don't believe that's
saying
the
thank
case.
you to Brexit.
So, thank you.
I just want to say thank you, Sir Ron. Thank you, all shorts, for taking the time. And it was good to have you both on.
Just one question. Are we going to stand for the national anthem? No. Okay.
With the American one? We will play the Brabançon for you as you can stand, and flee Max because he's about ready to rip you.
Okay, then I shall go.
I would think so. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks everyone for attending the stream, and thank everyone for the all the super chats. It's well appreciated. All donations will be going to the Law Project I believe that's the name, is it not?
That is, yeah,
Shorts?
good law project.
The
Yeah.
Good Law Project. And thank everyone. And I want to thank everyone for attending the stream tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Night.